Job search burnout is real, and I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're feeling it. So let's talk about it. So if we haven't met, my name is Cassandra, and I help motivated professionals build their careers through practical tips to gain career confidence. And so let's talk about burnout, right? If you have job search burnout, you're probably feeling one of the following, maybe more. You're exhausted by your job search, unmotivated to look at one more job description. You are overwhelmed by easy tasks, job search related or not. Just there are things you go, I just can't do it. I can't do one more thing. And of course, there are many other ways that this can play out, but I want you to get your life back. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can move past job search burnout. Let's beat that burnout. So first, take a break, okay? Give yourself the room to actually take a break from your job search. Now, the key with this is to consciously decide to take an actual break. What happens is we just procrastinate on our search or procrastinate on filling out applications or even doing other things maybe around the house. We look back at that like, oh, well, I didn't do anything for 3 days. I took a break. No, you didn't. You procrastinated, but the mental space was still being taken up and guilting you of, well, you're sitting on the couch, but you should have been washing dishes. You're sitting on the couch, but you should be filling out job applications or networking on LinkedIn. You should be doing this. So that mental chatter is still there and kind of browbeating you into feeling guilty for not doing the things you should do. So when I say take a break, I'm saying consciously decide, put it in your planner. Break. Decide what day. Is it all day Saturday? Are you taking a week off from your search? Like, I don't care what it is, but decide on an amount of space and actually give yourself that space to take a break. We need to restore. We need to refresh a little bit. Okay. In all honesty, as cheesy as it may sound, you may want to actually say out loud, I give myself permission to take a break from my search for 2 days, right? Or whatever the time is. Like, give yourself that permission. Sometimes we need to say things out loud so we actually hear them. Plus, I believe we were literally created to need breaks, right? So take at least 1 day off a week. But if you're really burnt out, we might need a little bit more this first week and then go into that 1 day a week cycle and plan that day ahead of time. This is my break day. The second way to beat burnout, you need to have boundaries. Now, as you come back from that break, start putting some boundaries around your job search. How many hours a day will you search? Like, set a time limit. I've said it before. I actually believe you can't really job search effectively more than 4 hours a day, unless it's something like listening to a podcast on job searching or watching a video like this, but like actively job searching, no more than 4 hours. How many informational interviews will you have a day or a week? I did a video with Randa Hinton, and she talked about how she got so burned out on her job search because she was doing more than 2 informational interviews a day, and she realized I couldn't handle that. I need to take a step back. And she kind of burned out, took a break and came back to it and realized, okay, this is how many informational interviews I can do a day or a week. So put some boundaries around your job search. By making limitations, we actually get more done. So don't be afraid to set boundaries. Another one I want you to think about with boundaries is how long are you letting yourself search for job postings on LinkedIn or Indeed or Monster or wherever? I found a lot of people get overwhelmed when they just are constantly looking at posting after posting after posting. Instead, make a new boundary for yourself of, once I find a position that looks good, I'm going to go apply for it. Don't do the like, oh, I found this job, but maybe there's more, and go look at more and more and more, right? It's like online dating. You swipe right and match somebody and you go, yeah, but what if I can match the next person? Like, no, focus on that one. Focus on that job that you find and stop there. But maybe set limits around how long you're allowed to scroll a day, or as soon as I find one I like, I stop and I start applying for that position. Don't be on the constant hunt for better. Okay, the third one. I'm so curious how you're going to react to this. I want you to get a hobby. Now, job search or not, We all need a hobby. We have lost the art of the hobby at least in America. It's not really the thing it used to be. We take hobbies and we turn them into more work or some sort of paid opportunity, or we don't do them at all. And now we just scroll our phones, scroll TikTok, watch TV, etc. But I want you to get a hobby. Find something that you do just pleasure for pleasure's sake. This could be joining a kickball league or starting to paint for a couple hours a week, or if you ski, I don't know, that's the hobby I always think of that a lot of people do that I don't do. If you craft, whatever it is, sew, I don't care, but something that you do just for pleasure, and make sure you're doing it at least once a week. And if it's not something you have to show up for, like a class you're taking, even if that's an online class, right? There's so many of those right now. Make sure that you are protecting a couple of hours a week in your schedule for this hobby. And that can get really hard, y'all. As the week goes on, you will start to feel the guilt of, I know I set 2 hours aside on Thursday night to paint, but I should really be doing job applications. Why am I wasting my time on this? You need to remember what that time will give you back. Having that hobby time should be something that restores your energy, that kind of refreshes you and gives you some focus on something other than the job search so you can come back to it. Next, to beat job search burnout, give yourself a gold star, right? Gretchen Rubin talks all the time about gold stars. She wrote The Happiness Project and Better Than Before, which is actually my favorite book on habits, but she loves to give herself gold stars, essentially saying, tell yourself you did a job well done for something. And in my research over how to beat job search burnout, the idea of counting your small wins came up again and again. So even if you apply for something and you don't get the call for the interview, give yourself the gold star for applying for it, for stopping scrolling. Give yourself a gold star every time you reach out to someone on LinkedIn. Now, you might want to get physical gold stars. I have been doing something, I have last week's right here, let me grab it. I have been doing something that I call a to-do list. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been showing this just because the week can end and even I can go, what did I do this week? And so as I do a project, instead of a to-do list, when I finish something, I write it down. And this could be as little as I Insta-storied, I cooked food, right? But building up that reward in our minds of look what I did helps you stay motivated to go do the next thing. So don't discredit your search in a week just because you didn't get a job at the end of that week. Give yourself gold stars for those small wins. Okay, for those of you who have watched some of my videos on job searching before, this one's not going to surprise you. I thought my phone was on silent. Don't know how that happened. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, for those of you who have watched some of my other job searching videos, this one is not going to surprise you, but plan your time. Now, we talked about boundaries, right? Put limitations on things, but I want you to put those limitations in your calendar. When are you job searching? When are you available for informational interviews? Plan that time for the hobby. Block and protect that time. The more you plan your time, the easier it is to get things done and then to not feel stressed in the off times, which means you hopefully will not feel as burnt out. Plus, it'll help you see what you really can actually get done. So don't just have a to-do list. Like we all have the to-do list of the 80 things we want to do this week, but by planning it out, you can see what's actually feasible to get done. And if you do those things at the end of the week, you'll feel much more accomplished than just having that giant task list, only getting a quarter of it done and then feeling defeated, like, oh, why didn't I do the rest? Well, because now you've seen, really, I only had time to do this many things. Additionally, I think by planning out your week, you're going to feel more in control of this search. And I think feeling in control of the search also is going to stop the burnout. So control the parts you can, because remember, we can't control the end result. So really by planning, you're going to control this part you do have leverage over. And at the end, you really will feel more accomplished. Okay, so that is it for today. Let me know in the comments which of these tips is most helpful to you. I would love to hear what was kind of a aha for you. And if you need more job search help, once you've taken the break, I have my free job search checklist for you in the description box below. Go grab that. It'll walk you through the ways you can stay on top of this job search. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.